In this video, we're going to take a look at using curtain walls to build for the exterior skin of a multi-level building. So before I get started with the modeling, I want to go to one of my elevation views and I'm going to copy up these levels. So we have multiple levels. So to do that, I can create new levels a couple different ways. One of them is just from the view tab. And it's not the view tab. It is, let's see, which one is it here? Maybe it's architecture tab. There we go, architecture tab. The level command here. So I can click on that. It'll put me into the sketch mode automatically. You can see that it's kind of giving me a little dimension there from the other one. And I can click to start, drag across, and then a click to place. Normally it kind of locks in with other ones, but it is not. So there we go. Now by creating that, I created a new level and you can see that I have not created new views with that. So it is showing me as that these are black. This is called a level datum. So when it's black, that's no views. When it's blue, you can see that those do have views created. So to create new views, we're going to do that as well, but I'm going to create the other levels first. So another way to do it now that you have this, you could have done this just from the beginning, but I want to show you the level tool. You can also use the copy tool to copy it up, or if you want to do a bunch at once, I'm going to use the array tool. Remember that shortcut is AR for that command. And I'm going to start from the level below. I want to keep it 12 feet going up. So then let's say if I go, I'm already at level 3. So I'll do 12 of them here. That should get us up to level up quite a few levels there. All right, so now that I've created my additional levels, I can create those views as long as that sharing thing gets out of my way. All right, we'll go here to my view tab, and then I'm going to go to plans views here and the floor plan. And now you'll see all of those levels that you just created and the ability. I'm just going to hold shift down to select all at once, and I'm going to say OK. And then that creates all of the views for those additional levels. You can do the same thing for your RCPs if you need, if you need those views, and just create those views after you create the levels. All right, so going back to my level 1, now we're going to go take a look here at the building an actual curtain wall in here. So I'm going to go to my architecture tab, and I'm going to go to my wall command, still architectural, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my wall type. I'm going to go all the way down here to curtain wall. So we've got 3 different types. We're going to talk about each one here. There's one that is not defined, there's one that's exterior glazing, and there's one that is storefront. So let me draw one of each of those so you can see what each one has built into it or not built into it. Copy those, switch the type. All right, I'm going to close these other views here. And let's do a 3D view as well. You can see all of our levels there. Okay, so we have 3 different types here. So we have the first one, which is not defined. That means that it doesn't have any grids or mullions assigned or to it at all. Let's go ahead and change this too so we can look at it. All right, it's just a plane of glass. And the second one, the curtain wall, has grids here already pre-spaced. All right, that's what this little dashed line is. And they are pinned because they're preset on their spacing. And then the storefront has grids and mullions applied. All right, so that's the mullion there. If I delete that, oh, I have to unpin it to delete it. If I unpin, the shortcut there is UP to unpin. You can also use this little unpin command here at the top. Pinning something just means that it's essentially kind of locked in place and it's uneditable. So all of the grids are pinned initially. So we'll work with the pin and unpin tool a little bit more with this, but I just want to delete it here so you can see that below the mullion is still the grid. And that's important because we just want to remember, just going to undo that. We want to remember that the curtain wall system is made up of multiple components. It is made up of panels which are these. All right, so I have panels, I have grids, and I have mullions on top of those grids. All right, so 3 different systems there making up this assembly. So to start, we're going to use the storefront. Oh, sorry, the exterior glazing. So we're going to use this as if it were the exterior skin of a building. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these 3 here. I'm going to switch those views over. There we go. All right, so I'm going to use my shortcut WA for wall command, and I'm going to use my exterior glazing here. I'm just going to draw in a simple square here, and now I'm going to quickly switch that. And right now that height is set to unconnected. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all 4 of these, making sure that I'm getting when I'm hovering on the side. You can see those dashed lines going all the way around. That's how I know I'm getting the entire of the wall itself, not one of those individual items. And then I'm going to set the height here, and I'm going to change that to level 14. So it's going to very quickly extend my building all the way up. All right. And it already has preset spacing here. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to go in here to my edit type. And here's that preset spacing for the vertical grid and our horizontal grid. We do have a fixed distance, which means it's going to be 6 feet all the time. There are some different settings in here as far as a fixed number or a maximum or minimum spacing, but we're going to stick with the fixed. And then I'm going to scroll down here and look at the mullions. So right now there's no mullions defined, so we're going to add some mullions to that. I'm just going to go with the 2.5 by 5 for all of these. All right, so now that that's applied, I'm going to hit OK. And there you go. And then Revit's going to apply those mullions to all those different grids. All right, so now let's get some floors and a roof on here, and we're going to put in a door as well. All right, so let's do our floors first. I'm going to go to my architecture tab, floor, and I'm going to go around. The first floor needs to be to the exterior edges, right? So if that was our slab, I'm going to trim those corners. And it looks like I was a little bit off there when I sketched that line, but no problem. I'll use my align tool here. I still have thin lines on. I'm going to turn that off so I can see my sketch line a little bit better. All right, and there's my first floor. All right, so for my second floor, I'm going to start that from level 2 floor plan. All right, this floor is going to go to the inside face. All right, it's not a slab anymore. Inside face. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to finish that floor. All right, now I have a bunch more floors to go. But, and this would be like for like the slabs. Let's see actually what we have for concrete. There we go. Switch that out. So it's not just a generic 12-inch. Okay, so now I have all these additional floors here, so I could go into each floor and redraw the slab, but that's going to take up some time, and there's a faster way to do it. So I'm just going to come into a 3D view is a good place to be able to grab the floor, and I'm going to copy it to clipboard, and then I'm going to use my paste, but instead of just paste from clipboard, I'm going to say paste to aligned levels, and that is going to allow me to select, let's see, that was level 2. And I'm going to go level 3 to level 13. 14 as our top, so that's where the roof's going to go. So it's going to go 3 to 13. I'm going to say OK. And it's just going to copy that floor all the way up. All right, that will work for most of your model elements, especially if you have, similar layout walls, floors, even furniture that you have on multiple levels that is similar or the same. A really good example that might be a dorm or a hotel. You can use that command to quickly replicate a layout that you have in multiple locations going up. All right, so there's our floors. Let's go ahead and do our roof here. I can go to 14 here to sketch, or you could do it. Oh, it's not going to pick it up. So let's go to 13. You could sketch this on any of the floor plans, really. The important thing is noting what level it's going to when you're done. And you can always adjust that at all. So I want that base level to be the very top, level 14. All right, and then I'm just gonna go around here. All right, and that arrow there, or the slope sign, means that right now that roof is going to create a slope, and that roof, that slope is 9 to 12, which is actually very high. But let's go 3 to 12 so you can see what that looks like. I'll go ahead and finish this sketch. So you see if I zoom in here, you can see that that roof does, in addition to being very bright green, has a slope to it. So for this one, we're just going to do a flat roof. So I'm going to go back in, edit that footprint. I'm going to select all these lines, and I'm going to uncheck here where it says define slope. So I don't want this to have any slope, so it's going to be flat here. There we go, and now I have a flat roof. Revit automatically generates the angles of the roof and the slopes for you. Most of the time it's pretty good, but sometimes it can get a little bit complex and you might have to break a roof up into different segments. But for this one, not a problem. Let's see what other roof types we have in here. All right, we'll leave it that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and add in a door. So let's check our doors first and see if we have a curtain wall door in here or not. It doesn't look like we do, so I'm going to go ahead and go into my Insert tab and load from the Autodesk family. All right, so we can't use just our normal doors in here. And let's see where they're sorted. If they put them in here or they put them in curtain wall, they might have moved them. There we go, right here at the top. Okay, so if we can't use our normal doors, we need to use these curtain wall doors. So I'm just gonna bring all three of them in here. All right, and you'll see I'm in the door command right now, and you'll see if I am trying to place this in a floor plan, it's not going to let me, right? Because these doors are hosted to walls, and the curtain walls are a little bit of a different wall. So in order to change or to create a door in a curtain wall system, we need to think about it a little bit differently. So instead of placing a door, we're going to switch out a panel type so that it's a door panel type. All right, so to do that, we can do it in a 3D view, an elevation, a section, or a floor plan. So I'm going to select which panel I want to have the door. It's going to be this one here. I'm going to tab through until I can select the panel itself. That should be highlighting over here. Interesting that it's not. But I have that panel here. I want to make sure that it is unpinned. So UP. And that just gave me an error there. So let me see what's going on. Okay, so now that I have this panel selected, it is the default glazed, and I'm gonna go ahead and switch that to my curtain wall door. All right, so now it's going into the building. I'm gonna switch that so it's going the other direction. I do wanna make sure that I delete the mullion below it. That's quite a good trip hazard. That is pinned, so I'm gonna unpin it to delete it. All right, and now you'll notice that that panel filled up my entire door. Also, if I change this detail here from medium to fine, we should get, yep, there's the door hardware. All right, so I'm gonna add in a grid so I can shorten that door because obviously we don't have one that high. So I'm gonna go ahead and add curtain grid. And I'm gonna add in just, right now it says all segments. So if I put this in, you'll see how this grid goes all the way across. I'm just gonna do one segment because I just wanna add it here for this one door segment. So it by default made, it kept the panel type. So now I have this double stack door, but that's no problem. I can now grab this door and I'll switch it back to my, we'll just go solid just so you can see a different type. But you can switch that panel type back. All right, so instead of placing a door, you're switching out the panel type.